REWRITTEN! Together they were in agony. He had to protect her from it. He couldn't let her suffer like he was. He was covering her, shielding her with his body as bolts of pure, screeching insanity blasted down from the sky, letting it do whatever it wanted to him, as long as it just didn't hurt her. He had to protect her. He had to hide her from it. It didn't matter how painful it was. He couldn't let her feel the pain too. Please don't hurt her. Please don't hurt her. Agony. That was all he could process. Endless, burning, unbearable agony. He couldn't see, he couldn't hear. Every sense was blocked up and screaming in his face, frightening him to no end. Butterflies everywhere, all over him, eating his flesh and leaving pink scales behind, in his ears, in his mouth, in his eyes, in his nose, ears, mouth, eyes, nose, swarming through his body and biting him with trillions of mandibles. He couldn't escape them. They were heavy, they were sharp, they were vicious. He was so afraid. He didn't know anything anymore. He didn't know his name. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what to do. He just wanted to get away from it all. Someone was chasing him. He swiped with his claws, feeling something topple away from him. Topple away. The whole world was filled with butterflies and their flapping wings. He would never escape them. Never. A distorted, frantic thought shot through his head like a bullet. Connie! Where was Connie? Wait, who was Connie? Connie was the most important person in the world. He wanted to find her, but someone was chasing him. What was happening? Why did everything hurt so bad? He was going to die. He was dying. Everyone was out to get him. He needed to defend himself. Defend yourself! So he swung his spike-ended tail and felt it collide with the ground, sending ripples through the pads of his feet. He gaped his jaws open and roared, the sound wave shattering a million windows. His limbs struck out wildly, tearing buildings apart, making people stay back. Wait, where was he? It didn't matter. Where was Connie? Let me help you! Who was that? Someone was here with him. His thoughts crashed into one another like freight trains, skidding along the tracks, derailing and exploding into fire. Every thought was doubled, echoed, split in half and shoved together again. Where am I? I want my dad! Where was everybody? He was alone, all alone. Panic seared through his head like frostbite. No! Another mirror-shattering shriek tore from his maw, tumbling and falling to the side, crushing countless houses under him as he rolled over and kicked out in a frenzy, his tail wriggling like a cobra as he reared up and ripped the earth's skin open with his claws. Help! Someone was after him. He could feel them. They were so close. He wanted them to go away. They were hurting everybody. Who's there? Connie, where are you? He couldn't hear. He couldn't see. What was happening? Why did his skin feel like it was on fire? He was dying. He had to run. He had to hide. He had to fight. Fight! Who was that? Where was his dad? Where was Connie? Who was he? She? Both felt wrong. He collapsed against the cliffside. A groan of pain rumbled through him, pushing away from it, swinging around to see who it was, his nearly blind vision blurring and struggling to focus as black dots fought against white dots. A face. Somebody there. A face. Somebody there. A statue. He hated them. He was lashing out at them, fury like he'd never felt before bubbling up inside of him, stomping on the stone face until it was gone. His tail was in the water. The water meant chains. He staggered out of the lapping ocean, falling down from dizziness. Exhaustion ached through his body. Where was he? What was happening? Where was everybody? He was so tired. He roared and shot back up as fast as he could, shaking his reptilian head. His horns speared through the ground and ripped up foundations. He was so tired, but he couldn't stop running. He had to escape. He was going to die. He couldn't breathe right, or think right. Where was Connie? Connie was with him. Yes, she was with him. He had taken her to safety inside of his own mind. He could protect her while her mind slept. Just sleeping, nothing more. Nobody would hurt Connie. She would be fine. He'd fix it. You were right, Jasper. I have been holding back. This is for everything you put me through. You're a monster, Stephen. But you know that already. Who was speaking? He didn't know who it was, but the guilt felt like somebody was standing on his chest, crushing him, burying him in the core of the earth in shame and regret. He was filled with the feral, animalistic fear, every nerve shrieking at him, the butterflies biting, the person that he was trying to escape, always finding him again. Agony. Torturous agony. But no matter how much he cried, no matter how much destruction he left behind him, he couldn't find a moment of peace. He was so tired, so scared, so overwhelmed, swarmed. He just wanted it to leave him alone. Leave me alone. Nothing would ever make sense again. That was the one thing that he knew for certain. Nothing would ever make sense again.